بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
Today, inshallah, I plan to finish with the tafsir, inshallah. Okay, قال الله تعالى: يا أيها الذين آمنوا كتب عليكم القصاص في القتل الحر بالحر والعبد بالعبد والأنثى بالأنثى فمن عفي له من أخيه شيء فاتباع بالمعروف وأداء إليه بإحسان. So we talk about this ayah and we talk about qisas in itself and the justice which is universal found in the religion of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Islam, that is applicable upon everyone. There is no exception. When it comes to justice, everyone has to bow to the justice. So when a man killed a man, we kill him. When a man killed a woman, we kill him. When a woman killed a man, we kill her. The Prophet ﷺ said, "Al-Muslimun tatakafa'u dima'uhum wa yas'a bidhimmatihim adnahum." The blood of the believers are equal. Nobody is better than the other one. And this is only within the believers. Non-believers are not included here. The blood is not equal. That's why the Prophet ﷺ said, Muslim is not killed because he killed a kafir. But that is not to say that it is halal for a Muslim to kill a kafir. No. You can only kill the one who is fighting you. If he is trying to kill you, you kill him, and that's okay. But to go and kill a kafir just because he is a kafir, that's wrong Islamically. The Prophet ﷺ said, "Man qatala mu'ahadan min ghayri jurmin lam yarah ra'ihat al-jannah." Whoever killed a mu'ahad means somebody who is in a state of peace with the believers, he will never smell paradise. So we have heard that the best opinion here is the one that also said, woman, she is murdered by a man, that man also should be killed because his blood is not better than hers. When it comes to diyat, this is something else. We just go with the Sharia and the way Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala prescribed it, and there is no injustice in the case. This is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala making a decision in the way he wishes. So, and also one of the things that I want us to pay attention to is the issue of qisas. Qisas, according to the best opinion of the scholars, is to be applied in the same way the Jani did. Jani is a criminal. You cut off the head of somebody, his head has to be cut off. Must. We don't give him poison to die. We don't slaughter him and kill him like that. We don't take a gun and shoot him. We don't take electric and put on him, he dies, we kill him like that. And we don't do that. We do the same thing, and that's the meaning of qisas. This is the opinion of the Malikis. And that's the best opinion, Wallahu a'lam. There shouldn't be any other opinion, because it is the only one that is supported by the Sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ. When they removed the eyes of that Ra'il Ghanam, the shepherd, the Prophet ﷺ removed theirs. He killed them in that way. In the same way they killed him, we killed them. When that Jew, he took the sister, the girl, and he put her between two rocks. You get it? And he smashed the head. He broke the head. So the Prophet ﷺ asked also people to put him in the same place, and they took a rock and hit the head. So the same thing he did to that woman, it was done to him. That was the correct application of the qisas. Because nowadays we do what? We use the sword. And that's the opinion of the Hanabila and many other scholars. To get it, they said sword. Why did they choose sword? Because they said Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala amara bil ihsan fil qatl. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, إذا قتلتم فأحسنوا القتل وإذا ذبحتم فأحسنوا الذبح وليحد أحدكم شفرته وليريح ذبيحته. When you slaughter, Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, observe ihsan in slaughter. Be gentle, be soft. Use the best way to slaughter. And when you kill concerning things that are supposed to be killed, like human beings is supposed to be killed, like some animals that are supposed to be killed, the Prophet ﷺ said, be gentle, be lenient. That's the mercy of the Sharia of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So the Hanabila and others, they said the best way is sword, the easiest way. Actually, if we're going to look for that, actually there are some other ways also that are the best way, contrary to the sword. The electric, I think, if we're not going to accept the idea that says the thing is suffering from inside. He died within a second. Within a blink of an eye, the thing is gone. But some says, well, just the sense will be taken, but from inside he is suffering until death comes to him. Allahu Akbar. Because nobody comes back for us to ask him, how do you feel? They get the idea, but this is what they told us. So if we're looking for an ease in this manner, we might find something which is easier. But those, they said it is easier because once you separate the head from the body, usually the person doesn't feel anything. What comes after that is just the stupor of the death, the agony of the death. That's what a person will be suffering from, not the pain of the sword. That's what they said. And that's why they say the best way of slaughtering is the Islamic way, because when you cut the throat, then there will be no connection between the brain and the heart. And as such, the animal will not feel anything. So what left, he is moving, pushing, and we're doing, this is just the stupor, Sakaratul Maut. It's not the pain of the thing. Sakaratul Maut comes to anyone, even if he's not slaughtered, but Sakaratul Maut comes. So they said when you use the sword, the person maybe he might just feel the heat. When the sword has a contact with the bone, of course, that's really. So that's around 1 or 2 seconds. That's what they mentioned. And as I said, nobody comes back for us to ask him, but we do believe if Islam says do it in this way, it will be the best way to be done. So that's the opinion of Hanabila, but the Malikiya says the word qisas is against this. The meaning of the word qisas is against this opinion. And not only that, they said the practice of the Prophet ﷺ also is against this. And as such, they said we should go with the qisas in accordance to the book of Allah and the sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ. What should we tell the Hanabila? We should tell them ihsan in everything has its own nature of qisas. So when I apply ihsan in transaction, it's different from the ihsan in killing. You get it? When I apply qisas or ihsan in this, it will be different from ihsan in another place. So that's why they said ihsan huwa fi'lul ma'mur. Get it? Ihsan is nothing but doing that which you're commanded to do. That's ihsan. Because we don't do it in our own mind. Everyone has his own way of ihsan. If I say this, somebody will tell me, no, there is a better way. You get it? But if there is a command from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we just follow that, and the case is closed. So that's qisas, and this is how you should understand that. So please, these are principles. Pay attention to them. Principles given to you by the scholars. It will help you, inshallah, in your future journey seeking the knowledge of Sharia, inshallah. يقول الله عز وجل فمن عفي له من أخيه شيء فاتباع بالمعروف وأداء إليه بإحسان. You know, if a person kills, last time we talked about types of qatl, anwar qatl, right? If a person kills intentionally, he's supposed to be killed. We are supposed to kill him. But since this is qisas, and we say qisas could be changed, the punishment could be changed and modified. By who? By the waliyuddam, the one who has the right over the blood. Somebody killed another person, the family of the murdered person do have a right to change that punishment. Right, it is their right. Somebody told me in Saudi, those who went to the place where they applied the qisas, they said they have scholars whose job is to contact the family. Until the last minute, they will keep on contacting them. Maybe they'll forgive. If they forgive, the sayyaf would never cut off the head. One of them said, I forgive. They said there is no qisas. Why? Because they said, if one forgives, that brother who killed, it's like now he is divided into 100 pieces. Every one of them has a piece from him. You get it? If all agree, they said, we don't like him. We don't like him. Send it to the waste. Kill him. It's okay, we kill. If one of them said no, we have to keep his portion alive. So how does that going to happen? He says, I forgive, and his portions is just the eyes. That eyes has to remain alive. We could kill if we want to kill him, but we have to give him his alive. How? There is no way. That's why the scholar said, Yassiri al-afu ila baqiyat al-jasad. Forgiveness that comes from one of them is going to affect the whole part of the body. Then the other family members, they have to forgive. Whether they like it or they don't like it, there will be no killing or qisas for that person. And they have to come down to the diya if they wish. So that's what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says here. فَمَنْ عُفِيَ لَهُ مِنْ أَخِيهِ شَيْءٍ. If the family agrees, you see, look at how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala called it. He said, أَخِيهِ. There's a murder, and also the murdered person. But Allah called them ikhwa. Only in Islam, I think you can find this. عُفِيَ لَهُ. And when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, مِنْ أَخِيهِ, you can feel the recommendation that you should look at him as an akh. Because sometimes this anger can cause a person to do that. You get the idea, he's not a criminal, but something just pushed him and caused him to do that. That's why the Prophet ﷺ said, La ta'ab. And the scholar said, if you're looking for the root of the evil is anger. Get it? That's why he told him, don't be sad. He asked, Ya Rasulullah, okay, anything else? He said, don't be angry. Anything else? He said, don't be angry. And the hadith, when he found those people gaining muscles, what I do, they said, we are gaining muscles, Ya Rasulullah. He says, let me guide you to something which is better than what you're doing. The best strength is to be able to overcome your anger. And it's very, very important attitude if you can control yourself, control your anger, you succeed. And you will live an easy life. Because it is impossible to live with people without getting harm from them. It's impossible. Ibn Hazm says, Man dhanna, whoever thought he will live and mix with people and he will not get harm, he said, فَهُوَ مَجْنُونٌ. He said, this is a kind of Jew. I guess that's true, right? Because it is impossible. Even with the people in those days also you get harm. How about our own people? You get an idea? Without any connection, they harm you. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guide us to the truth and help us to hold our anger. قال فمن عفي له من أخيه شيء. So if the family forgives, they forgive to what? They forgive to diya. They do have a right to do that. But the question is, can the mujrim reject? They said, you pay the diya. He said, no, I don't want. And those guys, they are very poor. They want money. And the guy said, no. Does he have a right to go for that? Some scholars said yes. Because Allah said kill, but if they forgive, they can forgive to the diya. And they can forgive to nobody. If they forgive, it's okay. But if they ask for the diya, can he say, I don't want. I want to be killed? The best opinion is the one that says he has no right to that. He has to pay them. Because this option is not his, it's their option. To choose whether the man should be killed or to forgive him. Get it? So he cannot say, no, this is based on my choice, I choose to be killed. It doesn't go like that. Allah says, فَمَنْ عُفِيَ لَهُ مِنْ أَخِيهِ شَيْءٌ فَاتِّبَعُوا بِالْمَعْرُوفِ وَأَدَوْا إِلَيْهِ بِإِحْسَانٍ. Wallahi, look at the justice of Sharia, addressing everyone. First, it addressed the one who the crime was committed against him. Look at him as a brother, as a recommendation to be soft and gentle and lenient. And to think that this might happen to him also. Do you get it? And he will want somebody to forgive him at that moment. Allah called him akh. And then Allah SWT says, if your brother forgives, he says, فَاتِّبَعٌ بِالْمَعْرُوفِ. The one who forgives, get the waliyuddam. Allah SWT says, look for your right with ma'ruf. How is that? I mean, don't push too much. Look at his capabilities and charge him based on what he can pay. And also give him respite until he can pay that. And don't exaggerate. Do all kinds of leniencies that we can call ihsan. وَأَدَوْا إِلَيْهِ بِإِحْسَانٍ. And the person who is supposed to pay, he should be muhsin in the payment. He shouldn't be mumatil. He has a payment but he doesn't give. Allah says, ذَلِكَ تَخْفِيفٌ مِنْ رَبِّكُمْ وَرَحْمَةٌ. As you have the nations before us, either qisas without diya, no forgiveness. Or forgiveness with no qisas. You get it? They have either this or they have that. But in the Sharia of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, all of them are okay. Allah said, ذَلِكَ تَخْفِيفٌ مِنْ رَبِّكُمْ وَرَحْمَةٌ. This is an ease, a concession, mercy from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for you guys, so that you can understand that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loves you more than anybody else. And you are the special one in the eyes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And then Allah says, فَمَنِ اعْتَدَى بَعْدَ ذَلِكَ فَلَهُ عَذَابٌ أَلِيمٌ. Whoever goes beyond the limits. Addressing who? Both of them. The one who should look for the diya, after he forgives that the man shouldn't be killed, he should do it with ma'ruf. فَمَنْ اعْتَدَى. If he does i'tida, for example, sometimes they will take the money and they will kill the person also. They collect the diya, also they secure the diya and they send somebody to assassinate him. But Allah knows, right? You can't hide. You can hide from anyone, but Allah SWT knows what happened. Who does that? So Allah SWT says, مَنْ اعْتَدَى. Whoever transgressed the limit in this regard, he goes beyond the limit, Allah says, فَلَهُ. Likewise, the other one also goes beyond the limit. He has the money, he doesn't want to pay. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, فَلَهُ عَذَابٌ أَلِيمٌ. He has a punishment waiting for him from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, which is very severe. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is so true. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَلَكُمْ فِي الْقِصَاصِ حَيَاةٌ. This is what I call the basis of maqasid al-sharia. You know, and you can see from this ayah the role of maqasid al-sharia in preserving the lives of humankind. We have maqasid al-sharia. How many maqsad do we have? 4. Okay, what are they? I give you this count. What is maqsad? Maqsad is a goal, right? Objective. When we say maqasid al-sharia, we're talking about the real reason why sharia exists. There is only one maqsad for that. What is that? Raf al-haraj. Sharia doesn't exist except Raf al-haraj. That's the real maqsad of sharia. Any other maqsad that you see in Islam is going back to this maqsad, ultimate maqsad. What is that? Raf al-haraj. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَجَاهِدُوا فِي اللَّهِ حَقَّ جِهَادِهِ هُوَ اجْتَبَاكُمْ وَمَا جَعَلَ عَلَيْكُمْ فِي الدِّينِ مِنْ حَرَجٍ مِلَّةَ أَبِيكُمْ إِبْرَاهِيمَ هُوَ سَمَّاكُمُ الْمُسْلِمِينَ مِنْ قَبْلُ وَفِي هَذَا يَكُونَ الرَّسُولُ عَلَيْكُمْ شَهِيدًا وتكونوا شهداء على الناس. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says what? وَمَا جَعَلَ عَلَيْكُمْ فِي الدِّينِ مِنْ حَرَجٍ مِلَّةَ أَبِيكُمْ إِبْرَاهِيمَ. Allah has never placed in your religion difficulty. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala never asks you to do something which causes you to be in a state of difficulty in Islam. Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, إِنَّ الدِّينَ يُسْرٌ وَلَنْ يُشَادَّ أَحَدٌ هَذَا الدِّينَ إِلَّا غَلَبَهُ. Those of you who are attending with us the class on Tuesday, you remember the hadith of Abdullah ibn Amr, right? He says, فَشَدَّدْتُ فَشُدِّدَ عَلَيَّ. He said, I made things difficult upon myself. I pressure, and I was so extremist in that manner. The Prophet ﷺ proposed something, he rejected. He never accepted any proposal from the Prophet ﷺ concerning how to be moderate in ibadah. But he says, فَشُدِّدَ عَلَيَّ. Then I was in trouble in the future because of that tashdid that I put upon myself. إِنَّ الدِّينَ يُسْرٌ. Prophet ﷺ. لَنْ يُشَادَّ أَحَدٌ هَذَا الدِّينَ إِلَّا بِالْعَفْوِ. So Islam is simple and it's easy. You exaggerate, you will be defeated by the religion, and a time will come you will never be able to continue. So the real maqsad for the Sharia is what? Raf al-Haraj, removal of the Haraj. As I told you, the case, one of my colleagues that usually revise knowledge with me in Medina, he was quoting something from Shaykh al-Islam bin Taymiyyah. He says he read Shaykh al-Islam bin Taymiyyah was refuting Ibn Hazm or Zahiriyya in one of their statements. He said if a woman lost her husband at the age of 25, for example, that means she's not young and she's not old, right? She definitely reached the age of maturity. And in sisters, what is the age of maturity? When they start experiencing a menses, right? So he was divorced. She was supposed to do the iddah looking at the monthly cycle. So what happened was that the blood stopped just after the divorce. And we don't know why. We don't know why. He said this woman, we cannot consider her as an old woman because she's not old. And we cannot consider her to be like a young woman who did not see the menses yet because she's not young. And we cannot consider her as a sick person who will be included among those ya'isat. We don't do that because she's not sick. So what shall we do, Ya Mufti? You know what he says? He says, since we don't consider her to be this or that, so we cannot give her the same hukm. And as such, what must we do? We have to tell her, sister, we are sorry. We have no fatwa for you right now. Imagine, at the age of 20, 21, get it? We tell her we have no fatwa for you right now. She has to stay for 60 years, until 60 years. When she reaches 60 years, then we are sure now she become an old woman. You get it? And then we give her the hukum of an old woman. That means she has to spend 3 months for the iddah. ثُمَّ تَتَزَوَّجِ إِنْ شَاءَتْ. And then she married if she wished. Wallah, he said Ibn Taymiyyah, when he quoted this, he said, أُقْسِمُ بِاللَّهِ. And he's ready to see Ibn Taymiyyah as well. He said, he swore by Allah, مَا جَاءَتِ الشَّرِيعَ إِلَّا لِرَفِي مِثْلِ هَذَا. The Sharia, Allah, never come except to remove this type of difficulties in the life of humankind. I mean, which woman will listen to this fatwa? Nobody. I mean, imagine a new convert to tell her this. She will tell you, Narja ila ma kunna. So, the real objective of Sharia is Raful Haraj, to remove difficulty. So, what I will say is, whenever you face difficulty in your practices, I really advise you to check the Sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ. Most likely, you're not doing it correctly. Because if you go with the correct Sunnah, you will never face difficulty. Go and see Khuzar al-Hatim, the Tasawwuf and Hawla Hadith, and these things that is brought by the people through those people who don't fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and take the way of shaitan. See them the way they suffer in life. Allah, they suffered a lot. But at the same time also following the way of shaitan. Difficulty in life, no reward from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. قُلْ هَلْ أُنَبِّئُكُمْ بِالْأَخْسَرِينَ أَعْمَالًا الَّذِينَ ضَلَّ سَعْيُهُمْ فِي الْحَيَاةِ الدُّنْيَا وَهُمْ يَحْسَبُونَ أَنَّهُمْ يُحْسِنُونَ صُنْعًا. You have people who do a lot of things, but they think they are pleasing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the one that I pity is who? Is nobody except the common people, not the ustads. The ustads that they know what they're doing. You know, they got one of those leaders of the old one. He wrote, or somebody wrote, that he wants with his best student. You have vast majority of African territory they're following them. But you know what he told his closest student? He said, you know, أَتَرَى طَرِيقَتَنَا هَذِهِ. He said, do you see our movement, the way we do things? He said, to be honest with you, he said, Wallahi, مَا شَمَمْنَا رَيْحَةَ الْإِسْلَامِ. He said, Wallahi, we do not smell Islam yet. But this word, do they tell it to others? No. I remember one day one of the du'ats, and they killed him. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala يأخذ من دمه يعني منه ما يشاء. Very good and excellent person, and he was amongst the key people who brought sunnah in that place, the best manhaj. That person, there was a time in his masjid when he gives lecture, those people, they used to bring their mic, they put it next to his masjid. When they do their dhikr, it comes to the masjid while he is teaching, right? Freedom of. So there was a time he said, in one of the books of these people that there is a dua. If you do it, it is far greater than the Qur'an. But they don't say it to the common. So when he said, the common people said, you are lying against our scholars. No sheikh who said that. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, مَا رَبُّكَ بِالظَّلَّامٍ لِلْعَبِيدِ فَأَنْطَقَهُمْ يَوْمٍ مِنَ الْأَيَّامِ. One day they came themselves and they used the mic. He said, this guy is criticizing us that we say that there is a dua. They forgot they're talking to the awam. He said, this man criticized us that we said there is a dua which is greater than the Quran. If there is something greater than that, we believe in that also. The common people, some of them said, why we used to falsify what he says, but now it comes from you, that means khalas. They left that method. That's why I said, Wallahi, thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Always say Alhamdulillah for you being part of the Al-Sunnah wal Jama'ah, following the correct manhaj. Because other groups and sects, I'm telling you, they don't let their people to go and have access to a library or to read any book without consulting the Shaykh. That's why they're locked. They cannot see the truth at all. But you are blessed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Your scholars speak the truth. And there is nothing hidden. We don't have hidden knowledge. We have two types of knowledge, right? Either the haram one, which is haram even to the scholars, or the halal one, which is accessible to everyone. There is nothing called hidden knowledge in Islam. Either you are supposed to do or you are not supposed to do. You get the idea? They promote something called ilmul ladunni. Then they will tell you don't understand. Get it? So you can see the sheikh eating and drinking in Ramadan. But then he will tell you, no, he is not drinking. And people believe in that. He drinks wine, he said this is not wine. But it appears to you that the sheikh is drinking wine, but in reality he is settling some issues in Iraq or Syria. But you find it so stupid, right? But they believe in that. They accept it. That's why I call them masaki. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guide us to truth. So the best way, not only the best way, the only way, is the way of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. You tilt a bit, you get into trouble. You have to follow the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, which is very straight, with no modification. So this is the main maqsad of Sharia. And the scholars said in general, you can see Sharia comes to deal with three types of maqasid: daruriyat, hajiyat, and kamaliyat. Daruriyat are those Ahmad is mentioning. Daruriyat, what is darura? And as I always mention to you, these definitions are very important, especially in the time we're living in. Right? What is darura? A life-threatening situation. A situation whereby if this is not legalized for you, you will lose your life. You get that? That's the only definition for darura. Don't ever accept any definition given to you by somebody. Darura means you are in a state of darura. That means if you don't get it, you might lose your life. That's darura. So if you don't understand this, they will cheat you all the time. How many people are using riba they took from the bank? If you ask them, they will tell you darura. Everyone darura. You get it? So now we make not only hajat darura, we make kamal darura. So the first one is darura, life-threatening situation. The second one is hajiyat. These are the situations where, if that thing is not legalized for me, I will be in a state of difficulty. I will live, but life will be very difficult. Do you get the idea? They are going to, I will come back to that. Tahsiniyat, these are the kamaliyat tahsiniyat, the wants and desires. Things that whether you get them, you don't get them, you live without any difficulty. Eat an apple, eat an oranges. So, okay. So these are the three things that Sharia comes to preserve. The first one is the daruriyat, and they are mainly based on preservation of 5 things. This is the religion. Religion must be preserved. And for the student of Siyasa Sharia, the first wajib upon the leader is to preserve the religion of the community. Ibn Taymiyyah says, جميع الولايات في الإسلام مبناها على حفظ الدين. Anyone who has seen responsibility in Islam, the first thing that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants him to do is to preserve the religion of the people. And only Islam is recognized by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Whatsoever contradicts with the religion of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, contradict the religion of Allah, must be eliminated. Has to be the leader has no excuse. He must eliminate it. We're talking about either you take it or you leave it. Either you take it in total or you leave it. Let somebody who can do it come and do it. Unless if there is no possibility to have somebody who can do it in total, we can only have somebody who will minimize it to the lowest level, then we will tell you, yes, you have to go. And fight to minimize it to the lowest level. Because religion comes to bring maslahah and also to increase the masalih. And also to remove mafsada and also to reduce it where it cannot be removed completely. You get it? These are the basis of Siyasa Sharia. Unfortunately, who is the leader who understands this problem? And it's available Islamically in Islam, right? Everywhere. So, back to the darura. What is darura? Which is life certain situation, and to preserve those 5 things, right, under the darura. The first one is the deen. That's why in Islam, apostasy is halal or haram. Haram. There is no freedom of choice here. But we are living in a time where Allah, you hear a lot of things which we never thought of them before. The person will tell you that la ikraha fid-din. And what do you mean? He will tell you, I never accept Islam. I just found myself Muslimin and then I grew up like that. So la ikraha fid-din, I can go. If you're talking about if somebody accepts Islam, he cannot go out. When can I accept? Before people, they never thought of this question. But now, people are brainwashed, they come with all kinds of stupidities, right? I mean, in reality, go and ask even the scientists, which one comes first, Islam or other things. You're Muslim actually from day one. There is nothing called I went in and I did not go in. No, you are in actually from the beginning. And also, if I'm for the sake of argument, why didn't you just change right after you matured? Everything is wajib and then you talk about the change. Why did you wait until the time somebody comes and tell you, wait a minute, you're forced also to take the religion? They're just brainwashed. That's why I really advise you to focus on the company. Monitor the people whom you deal with. And don't visit every website. Be very selective. 100%. Don't say, let me see and try. Because you are testing your iman. And that means your iman has no value. Because in this life, whenever you value something, you don't put it in a tester. So, apostasy is haram. How do we know that? The Prophet ﷺ in the hadith of Ali ibn Abi Talib, Abdullah ibn Abbas, when he heard that Ali ibn Abi Talib burned the first group of Shia who invented Tashayyu, when they claimed that Ali ibn Abi Talib is Allah, he burned them. مَا مَقَالَةٍ بَلَغَتْنِي عَنْكُمْ. It's true that you said this? I mean, somebody criticized Ali, but you have to understand that even you, I do believe if somebody comes in front of you and you have authority and he calls you Allah, maybe if there is something beyond burning, you will go for that. So he lost control. He asked them, is it true that you said I'm Allah? And they say, yes, anta hu. He burned them completely. But some of them managed to escape. And that happens when you make a mistake, you're going to have some evil consequence also emerging from that mistake. You know, they run away. Abdullah ibn Abbas said, when he heard about the case, he says, may Allah show mercy upon my brother. If I were in his position, I would never do that. He says, I will not burn them. Because the Prophet ﷺ said, لا ينبغي أن يعذب بالنار إلا ربنا. Nobody has a right to punish with fire except the owner of the fire. That's Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He says, وَلَا قَتَلْتُهُمْ. He says, if I am the one in his position, I will kill them. Because the Prophet ﷺ said, مَنْ بَدَّلَ دِينَهُ فَاقْتُلُهُ. Do you think this word needs ta'wil? No, it's very clear, right? Somebody says it needs ta'wil. A sister gave him on his head. She said, brother, which Arabic is more clearer than this? Whoever changes his religion, the Prophet ﷺ said, kill. So there is no excuse. This is based on the authority. We don't take action at our hand, but you report to the authority that this one changes his religion. According to the vast majority of the scholars, we give him how many days? 3 days. After 3 days, if he doesn't repent, we kill him. Maliki scholars said there is no 3 days. It's just up to the leader. Because honestly speaking, there is no hadith that says 3 days in this case. They said it's just up to the leader. If the leader sees 3 days to be justified, then we give him 3 days. And if we have Qiyada Rashida, that's the best. Leave it to the leader. Because they know. And sometimes some people, they play. Get it? And if we don't take this action, they might motivate others also to do the same thing. One of the people who are connected to the religious, department. Wallahi, he told me that in some places when the government give permission to apply for change of religion, they just make it loose. He said in one day, 6,000 people send applications. And the government just quickly closed it. This is the first day, 6,000. That means people do not hear that much. Tomorrow they will get the news and then we don't know how many. So government have to think for the people. If If you give them just like that freedom, I tell you, in this life we're living in, many people are going to leave it. I don't give them a good tarbiyah. I let them get exposed to what? Exposed to the evil from the internet and all of these things, and then I said you have a freedom, of course they will run away from it. May Allah SWT guide us to truth, and may Allah SWT guide our leaders to lead us in the best way. Allah, they need dua. I'm not a politician, and inshallah I will never be in my life, or to be connected to them based in ta'ala. But I do believe they need our dua. They need our dua. Whether we like it or we don't like it, they need us. And as such, we need to make dua, because if they are guided, who will enjoy? We enjoy, all of us. That's the manhaj of Salaf Salih. Don't sit down and curse and do this and that. Wallahi will never benefit. Wallahi I'm telling you, will never benefit. Ask Allah SWT to bring peace, and ask Allah SWT to guide them, and ask Allah SWT to catch their hand and put them in the right way. May Allah SWT guide all of us in truth. So apostasy is not allowed at all. Although we don't force somebody to accept Islam, but at the same time there is no out. If he comes willingly by himself, there is no out. We don't trick, we don't force, we don't do anything for him, but if he accepts, then Islam doesn't recognize out. It only recognizes in. Why do we block the people from going out? Because there are some people you take them to paradise by force. They will appreciate one day. Get it? The next thing to be preserved is the preservation of soul and nafs. This is what this ayah is talking about. When Allah SWT says, وَلَكُمْ فِي الْقِصَاصِ حَيَاةٌ. Law of qisas is very excellent, and life cannot be preserved if the law of qisas is not applicable in a place. That's why the world is not in a state of peace. Why? Because qisas is not there. Do you get the idea? They told us in one of the books of history that the Aus and Khazraj, they were fighting themselves for 120 years, or 121 years. Why was that? Because one of them was killed from the other tribe. They engaged in a war because there was no authority to take action. So the family take action against the one who killed their member, and the other family also, they take action against the other family. They kept on fighting, and they were brothers and sisters for 120 years. How many years did the Prophet ﷺ need to settle this case? Few seconds. He landed in Medina, told them, you guys are brothers. And brotherhood means you love each other, no fighting. The case is closed. Those people who hate themselves, they became brothers. In such a way, a person amongst them, he doesn't care from which tribe you belong to. As long as somebody says, Ya al-Ansar, he just come. My brother called me. Who is the one among the Ansar? He doesn't know, he doesn't care. The point is, a Muslim said, come and help. Do you get an idea? That's the power of Islam. That's why here Allah SWT says in this ayah, وَلَكُمْ فِي الْقِصَاصِ حَيَاةٌ. What does that mean? Your life lies in the law of qisas. No qisas, no life. I'm telling you, if you, as a government, is going to bring the murderer, and I think this is the peak of justice, right? He kills somebody. What does he do to him to kill him? Intentionally. Bring him in public. Televise that. Don't do it in secret, because people will not take lesson. Put it in the television. Let everyone in the city see. They were going to say harsh, harsh, harsh. But what are you talking about harsh? You don't do that tomorrow also somebody is killed. You don't think of the life of those people who are killed. You're thinking of some people are getting scared of the way that person was killed. Wallahi, this is only coming from those people, the so-called human rights activists. That's why these days, in many cases, when human rights goes this way, that's when the truth is where here. A person is killed, there's damage, and then they're talking about when they're going to take his right and give it back to him. Everyone's going to talk. Why? Why didn't you talk when the guy also was doing what he was doing? But imagine somebody kill another person. You bring him in public, and you do the same thing he did with that person. Everyone sees that. Who is going to kill him again? I'm telling you, they would never do. Whoever wants to kill, he will look at his head first to remember what happened. If a person sees the head of that person coming down, it will be very difficult for him to think of it. I called some of my friends who witnessed that in Medina. They said, Wallahi, we couldn't sleep at night. Whenever I close my eyes, I see a lot of heads coming. One of them said, even food, when I open the food I eat, I don't know, heads. Imagine this guy killing somebody one day. It would never happen. That's the lesson actually. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَلَيْشَهَدْ أَذَابَهُمَا طَائِفَةٌ مِّنَ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ. Let some group of the believers go and witness the punishment. So, وَلَكُمْ فِي الْقِصَاصِ حَيَاةٌ, preservation of the soul. That's why the law of qisas is established. The next one is حِفْظُ الْعَقْلِ, preservation of aql. You get aql, right? So, aql has to be preserved. And that's why anything that can affect the aql is rejected Islamically. Whatsoever can affect aql is rejected. The Prophet ﷺ said, كل مسكر خمر وكل خمر حرام. And Umar ibn Khattab says, Al-Khamru ma khamar al-aqla ay qatta. Khamr is anything that covers the aql, like khimar, the covering of the sisters. So the Prophet ﷺ said, every muskir is khamr. So khamr doesn't necessarily mean a liquid thing. Whatsoever can cause intoxication is khamr. Even if before it used to be halal, asir, but now it turns to something else, then it will take the same effect. You cannot use it. If the air is polluted in such a way, if you take it, you will become intoxicated. It will be haram for you to take that air. Because at that moment it will be what? It will be haram. The small amount and the big amount and the medium size, they are all prohibited Islamically. And also I want you to understand that the scholars said a Muslim is not allowed to hold khamr, to own it. That's why the best opinion is the one that says you are not allowed to use it even physically. Because if we allow the usage of khamr physically, not intentionally, externally, we allow it, that means we are agreeing with the people to produce khamr. Everyone will produce and tell, I'm going to use it externally. I'm not going to drink. How do I know? That's why the scholars said Islam rejected and we're supposed to stay away from it. A Muslim is not allowed to touch it. And as such, I don't need to advise you to stay away from any perfume, any deodorants, roll-ons, and all of those incense that they carry alcohol in them. Stay away from it. Because some of them, if you put them, you will feel like vomiting. And they have this percentage of alcohol in them. Do you get an idea? Stay away from it. Unless if you're sure that this is the chemical kind of alcohol, then it'll be okay using like that. But stay away from it. And now, do we have alternative? Yes. But as I always say, unfortunately, the alternatives, they are very ugly. The nice design one, they're what? They're all alcohol. You get it? So people, they don't like that one. If you give somebody a gift of the non-alcoholic perfume, and you give him the other one, he will take the other one. No, this one. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guide us to truth. Likewise, any medicine that contains alcohol, it is impermissible for you to get it. So monitor what you drink. There is no darura in medicine. Sallallahu alaihi wasallam. There is no darura in medicine. Because the condition for the darura is you have to make sure that the thing you are taking, which used to be haram, will remove the darura. Confirmed. Medicine is not like that. You're not sure. You get it, just try. And also the second thing, you have an alternative. You have the good one. That's why the Prophet ﷺ said, Inna Allah lam yaj'al shifa ummati fima harram alayha. Allah never placed the cure of my ummah in that which He made it prohibited upon them. I know sometimes you might find it very difficult, but I'm telling you, that's the best for you. Train yourself to use those divinely given medicines. Train yourself to use those divinely given medicine. Wallahi, they're better than the medicine you get from the hospital. I don't have any doubt in that. It's a matter of faith. You believe in that, you get the benefit of that. You don't believe in that, you will be in trouble like anybody else. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So, hifzul aql, whatsoever affects aql also is prohibited. Even games that somebody hit his head and all of this, like boxing, they're all rejected Islam. You can learn that for self-defense. Because in a defense, person is shooting you, trying to kill you, and then you hit his head. He tells you, Qala Rasulullah, la tadribul wajh. But you make it as a game, you are hitting the head. The Prophet ﷺ said, La'an Allahu man darabal wajh. We are told that when somebody do boxing, it affects his aql, right? And that's what they said about the one who died. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala show mercy upon him, that he got this sickness because of that. Yeah, so alhamdulillah, how many games do we have? Halal games? Infinity number of them, right? So don't get annoyed if you're a boxer and then we told you don't go and hit the head of somebody. Take another game, actually. There are more games that are better than that. Anyway, the next one is hibzul mal. What is hibzul mal? Protection of wealth. What is wealth? They said, huwa kullu aynin mubahatun naf'i bila haja. I think I mentioned this in this minbar, I don't know how many times, right? Kullu aynin mubahatun naf'i bila haja. Every object that has halal benefit, and it is there by nature halal, not because we need it. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is making it halal. That's why pig, dog, guitar is not halal. Do you get it? Because it could be an object, but the naf'a that you get from that is not mubah. That means it's not mal. Dog, is it mal? No. It's an object, and that is halal benefit in it. But because of what? Haja. Originally, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made dogs all prohibited. The Prophet ﷺ said, ثَمَنُ الْكَلْبِ خَبِيث. The price you take because of the dog you sell is khabith, is evil. Scholars said the best opinion is the one that says even to buy a trained dog is impermissible Islamically. You can pay for the service, but you cannot buy the dog. Because the Prophet ﷺ said, ثَمَنُ الْكَلْبِ خَبِيث إِنْ جَاءَكَ يَبْلُغُ ثَمَنَهُ فَامْلَأْ كَفَّهُ تُرَابًا. He says if he comes to you looking for the price of his dog, fill his hand with sand. And the scholar said, although it's not physically take it and put it in your bag, but Zahiri says, put the sand in his hand. So dog is not mal, cannot be mal, although it has halal benefit, but in a very restricted area and because of the need. Pig is not mal, although it is an object, and it can have halal benefit when you're very hungry. That's the only benefit I can remember. You are too much hungry and you're about to die, and there is no any other halal food. You cannot eat anything to remove that. Get it? If you have only pig, but you have awraq shajar, can you eat it? Yes, you have to eat it. To keep yourself, you cannot go to the pig. You have to eat anything that can save your life, but not the pig. So, but if there is nothing except the pig, I can eat the pig. Actually, it is wajib upon you to eat it to save your life. But is it mal? No, because it is what you call halal for you because of what? The law. That's the definition of mal. Hibzul mal. It's one of the objectives of Sharia, protection of the wealth. That's why theft is haram. That's why riba is haram. That's why gambling is haram. Anything that affects wealth is haram. Corruption in all of its forms is rejected Islamically. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala motivates you to do some other things to preserve the wealth. Look for it through the halal means. So hibzul mal. So we talk about hibzul deen, hibzul nafs, hibzul aql, hibzul mal, and we have the last one, hibzul ird or hibzul an-nasl. You get it? Hibzul ird and nasl, they go together. Al-ird, this is the honor. An-nasl, this is the progeny. The honor has to be preserved. It's a very sensitive matter. But unfortunately, wallahi, now you cry because of this. But whom to complain to? Yeah? You can see the laws now is heading towards empowering women. I mean, is there any power that is taken from a woman? I just wonder what else we do with it. If there is oppression by some people, we deal with that oppression. But we shouldn't criticize the religion of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah did not take any power from somebody which he deserved that power. Get it? He created both, man and woman. And he distributes the job. Everyone is given that which fit him. Who is doing that? Allah, the creator, the owner of everything. We are just his properties and his slaves. He has a right to do whatever he wishes in us. We cannot say why to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But now can you see the situation? We are making everything open for them. And what is the result? We are paying the huge price. Read the news and see. Every day you read the news, I'm telling you, sometimes you cry. But nobody to complain to. And this is what we invite by ourselves. And all of these things that you don't need me to tell you about. And that's increased the level of promiscuity in the Muslim community. Go to our universities, go to the communities and see. Read the newspapers and hear a lot. Not only the normal zina, but incest also is increasing in the Muslim communities. So that's when we don't understand what preservation of earth means. Look at the Prophet ﷺ, beautiful sunnah. In his masjid, where did he put the sisters? Behind. The brothers not seen. He's the only one who can address them. Right. And they're behind the brothers. When he speaks, they're still behind. And he told the brothers, after the prayer, you should wait first. Until the moment the sisters already dispersed. Then you can. You know, even Kufar was on this side. So that's why they never mix the toilets. Even the house of the most Kufar, I don't visit those countries. Inshallah, I will never. But I'm told that even them also in their places, the sisters, they have toilets and the brothers, they have toilets. What does that mean? They believe that they are not the same. You get the idea? In our community also it's like that. But unfortunately, when it comes to other things, we think, okay, it's okay, we can just come and meet. There is no way for these two genders to meet without barrier, except that evil is going to take place. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala preserve our community. Wallah, we are facing a very huge problem that we have to be very, very, very careful. And everyone is responsible for his own family. Be very strict when it comes to the honor, because the scholar said, and this is the truth, honor is one of the things that when it is dropped down, you cannot purify it. They said it's just like the milk. When you drop the milk down, it will be very impossible for you to remove the dust from it. Honor is like that. That's why you see heavy punishment for somebody who penetrates the honor without paying the due right. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, prescribe a heavy punishment. It's very important to think of this. Get it? The Prophet ﷺ, look at his organization. The way he arranged the Muslim in the masjid, brothers first and then sisters. And he specified a door for them. Like Umar says, since I know the Prophet ﷺ is doing that, I never use it anymore. He says this is Babu Nisa, is for the sisters. Nowadays the person will shout, why this discrimination? That's in the time of the Prophet ﷺ, when he was going to play with his wife. Nowadays what do you have? They come and do exercise where? In front of everyone in the community. You cannot talk. So she comes with the way she is, and then you think people. I remember in one of the schools they were having this event. You get it? They went out. The students, these are young people in the secondary school. They come with, one of the teachers got mad at them. They come with their cameras and they were taking pictures of the sisters running. And to me I was, why? Why do you get angry with him? Why do you get angry? You bring your sister to come and run with everything that Allah wants to put in her, and she's running in front of him. All of the beauty and the distraction is going to come. We like it or we don't like it, will come. And you think the young boys should just keep quiet? They come and they take picture. They brought them and hit them and step on them. I was saying, why? This is natural. And then you don't want them to do. Let them go to the hidden place and do it in the way the Prophet ﷺ did. You know, this is the wife of Muhammad, Aisha. Do you think somebody is going to have evil thought on them? No. If you're going to think of something, a desire, you will not think of the wife of the Prophet. That is a natural barrier between you and them. I mean, the Prophet ﷺ can run with her in front of everyone, but he did that. No. He told the believers, go. And these are the companions. If you run, they are not going to look after you. Aisha came down. When there was nobody watching them, he said, come, let's do some racing. They ran. She won. They did that twice. The first one she won. The second one he won. But in both, the Prophet ﷺ never let the companion to watch that which is taking place between them. Can you see that? Very healthy community. When two brothers met him talking to his wife Safiya in the masjid, they quickly ran. The Prophet ﷺ said, come, come, come. This is my wife Safiya. And then somebody will tell you, as long as the intention is good, they can sit together. As long as the intention is good, they can shake hands. Some of those people who said our cultural practice says you can shake the hand of a woman and the intention is good. Wallahi, honestly speaking, I need to know. How can intention be good when somebody shakes the hand of a non-mahram sister? And he tells me he doesn't feel anything. I will answer him with one of two things. And I'm serious in that. I will tell him, brother, either you're a woman, but you don't know, or you're lying to me. You have the feeling, but you don't want to tell. But you tell me you are still a man, and you shake the hand of a sister, and you tell me your intention is good. I don't feel anything. I will tell you you're married. He's sick because naturally we're not like that. Take an idea. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us good and let us understand this. And you guys, my message to you, those of you who don't have family yet, wallahi, be ready for this. It's a heavy responsibility, starting from your wives and daughters. Before, taking care of daughters is very easy, but now it's too heavy. Why is that? Because of the environment. So get ready for that and be very lenient and know how to control your family peacefully. Whatever you do, no harshness, especially for the sisters. This is my personal advice to you. No harshness. Try gain their heart. In such a way, when you tell them something, it will reach the heart. And nobody can change their mind upon it. Children, they are not like the children before. They're different. Don't deal with them like the children before. Good idea. And we need this leniency with them to preserve them from getting destroyed by the media. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us good. So that's why, to preserve the honor, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala promote marriage and reject anything that is going against the marriage. Marriage is very simple, as you know, and we talk about this many times. And I know this is the topic of the youth, right? But no action is taken. And some, it's not like no action is taken, but the obstacle from the parents is too big. Because I know many people, they want to marry, but the father is wanting them to keep on making jihad. Jihad, they say. I don't know which jihad is he talking about. He doesn't do the jihad, but he wants his child to do the jihad. Child is in the time that marriage is needed. But now you bring your child in front of every jinn and shaitan, and then you tell him, control yourself. It would never happen. So marriage is encouraged, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants you to make it simple and easy. And zina is rejected, and any evil and illegal relationship with a sister is rejected. Starting from looking, touching, talking unnecessarily, sitting very closely, having khalwa, all of these things are rejected. Staying in a place where there is nobody except a woman and you, these are all rejected by the Prophet ﷺ. Very clearly the Prophet ﷺ mentioned it. We have a lot of examples to mention here, but time will not permit. That's the last one. So preservation of honor and preservation of progeny. Look at the way Allah wants to preserve the progeny. If a woman wants to marry, but she's pregnant, she can't marry until she delivers. Because we cannot have the mixture of waters, children. Have a child, he doesn't know his father. Islam rejects this totally. Even in the slave, during the days of slavery, when we have the slaves, the Prophet ﷺ said, لا توطأ حامل حتى تضع ولا حائل حتى تستبرئ. Hamil, if you have a slave, if she is pregnant, you are not allowed to approach her sexually until she delivered. When they told the Prophet ﷺ about a brother who was intending to have a relationship with his slave and she was pregnant, wallahi, look at the hadith said by the Prophet ﷺ. He said, لَقَدْ هَمَمْتُ أَنْ أَلْعَنَهُ لَعْنَةً تَدْخُلُ مَعَهُ فِي قَبْرِهِ. He said, أَيَغْذُوهُ فِي سَمْعِهِ وَبَصَرِهِ. Is he trying to feed his ears? I mean, while the boy is already in existence from another water and he's trying to feed him with his own water? The Prophet ﷺ said, wallahi, I was about to curse him, a curse that will follow him until his grave. This is not preservation of one progeny. To make sure that we know who is who and to whom this person belongs to. Do we do that? No. We have a lot of confusion, right? You marry, okay, not you. He marries, his brother comes to visit him, he is not around, right? And his wife will sit down and make a tea, and they sit down and talk, and then after that, Allahu Musta'an. So the Prophet ﷺ said, إِيَّاكُمَ الدُّخُولَ عَلَى النِّسَاءِ. I warn you from entering places where there is nobody except woman. The Prophet ﷺ, when he said that, the companion says, Ya Rasulullah, how about hamu? Hamu is akhu zawj. Originally, it's not akhu zawj. It's a person who is very close to the woman in such a way he cannot even marry that woman, like the father of the husband. But then later on, the Arabs culturally understand the word hamu to be applicable only to the brother of the husband. When they said when they said to him, Ya Rasulullah, how about hamu? He says, death is better than him. Ya du'at culture. Some people will tell you, this is our adat wa taqalid. What are you talking about adat wa taqalid? And then tomorrow when the zina happens, they will come and tell you, wallahi, this time is very bad. It's a very important topic. Person need to master properly. Qasid Sharia. And these days, this maqasid are twisted. Not in the way the Salaf as-Salih understood. Everyone is using them in the way he wants. It's a very good that a person should master them properly. These are the daruriyat, the issues that we have to preserve them, otherwise human beings can never live comfortably. The second one is the hajiyat. What is the hajiyat? Hajiyat, they are the needs. Those things that I have to do them, otherwise I will be in a state of difficulty. For example, somebody has a problem with in his hand, and they need to cut off the hand for the medicine. How would they do it? They just bring the saw. What do you think the guy will do? Punch them. He has problem with the teeth. They want to remove it, and the guy just bring the thing and hold it and try to do it. I'm telling you, you will never agree. You will get him. Although he is a medical doctor, he don't care about that. He care about the pain. But what do they do first? They inject you. Like somebody says, to make you think they're not doing anything. I mean, you see them doing, but you don't feel anything. Those things, if you look at them, they're what? Drugs. And drugs in Islam is what? Haram. But can that person bear it? No. Not, it might cause him to lose his life. That's why they said sometimes haja tablughu mablagh ad-darura. Haja can reach the status of darura. Do you get the idea? That's why you see the scholars make this type of drugs when they put in the time of operation permissible, because there is no any other way we have. There's the only place where the haja and all of these things could be applicable when it comes to the operations, not the normal medicines. Amma al-kamaliyat. As for those wants and desire, these ones, they will never make halal haram, and they will never make haram halal. But unfortunately nowadays, the kamal becomes darura. A person has 2-3 cars, but then he will go and take another loan in the bank. Ribawi loan. If you ask him, darura. Somebody told me, well, you know, this is the time everyone has new things and the family wants to invest. Yeah, you have 2-3 cars. But he says this is darura. Do you get the idea? If you look at the vast majority of people who are taking loan from the bank, I don't want to say all of them, but I believe almost all of the people who take loan from the bank, they don't need it. And if that loan contains riba, that person is murabi and he is cursed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guide us to the truth. So the last issue, and then we close the class inshallah, is about the wasiyah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, كتب عليكم الصيام كتب عليكم إذا حضر أحدكم الموت إن ترك خير الوصية للوالدين والأقربين بالمعروف حقا على المتقين فمن بدله بعد ما سمعه فإنما إثمه على الذين يبدلونه إن الله سميع عليم فمن خاف من موص جنفا أو إثما فأصلح بينهم فلا إثم عليه إن الله غفور رحيم. Now we have learned what we learned, so now it's like we are about to leave this life. What shall you do? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is advising you here that you shouldn't leave this life without living something that will help you to upgrade your reward. Okay, I will put it for you in this way so that you will understand it properly. And I want everyone to please pay extra attention. You know, in the Qur'an we learned that it is difficult for a person to finish this life and at the same time accomplish that which Allah SWT prescribed for him in total. How many prayers are you supposed to do? 5 every day. Who is that among us that can say from day one, from the time he becomes matured, he never missed a prayer? Who can remember that? Very difficult, right? Okay, forget about that. From the time you become matured, do you think all of the prayers you were praying are perfect? And also you got full reward? I mean, everything is perfect according to the Sunnah, you don't miss a single thing. Who is that? Then we will announce you the wali of the day. We will come to your house to beg you to tell us the key. You also can reach that. We all have deficiencies, right? This one just in the prayer. I don't want to talk other things also. We have deficiency. I want you to understand why Allah SWT says, كَلَّا لَمَّا يَقْضِ مَا أَمَرَ. Most likely you will go back to Allah SWT without finishing that which Allah SWT prescribed for you. And we know in some of the Sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ that a person, for him to succeed in the hereafter, he has to complete everything. That's the law. But the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is everywhere. Do you get the idea? And there was a person who we are told that because of one single reward, Allah refused to forgive him. But he got the reward just like that, unbelievable. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept from both, the one who gave him and the one who was looking for the reward. But we know all of these things from the Prophet ﷺ. What should be our reaction? To make sure that we don't fall into the same trouble, right? And that's why having things like work, studying knowledge is very important in Islam. And marriage also is very important, although some people are still delaying, but marriage is very important. Why is that? Because if I die, Fatih dies, Abdurrahman dies, who else married? Don't tell me. We are only 3. Who else is married here? Okay, Alhamdulillah. I forgot the DK. So around 6 against, I don't know, 1,000 of you. You know, if we die, inshallah, let's say we die, all of us know, and our children were there, right? Unless people, they will look at your children and say, oh, mashallah, this is the children of so and so and so person, rahimahullah. You, if you die, after how many days they forgot you? Even your mother, when she remembers it, she just cries. Some of the mothers, they will not remember to say rahimahullah. She loves you so much. Yeah, but if you have children, people are going to make dua for you. And not only that, if you give them good tarbiyah, the Prophet ﷺ said, your account will be open. Their righteousness will be counted for you. And if they make dua for you, Allah SWT might give you relief if you're in trouble in the grave. Other people, they don't have. Do you see how much you're losing? And how much dangerous is life without marriage? Do you understand that? So may Allah SWT help you to upgrade yourself, inshallah. Did you hear what I said? To free yourself also. Get it? To join the good community and the excellent community. Get it? Don't be jealous of us, huh? Okay. So the Prophet ﷺ mentioned that so that you will know that it is really important, because you're going to have deficiency before death, but at least you have something to keep bringing reward to you. Before the day of judgment, inshallah, you are done. Bismillah ta'ala. One of these things is the wasiyah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says He has written the wasiyah for you when death approaches. In taraka khayra, khayran yani al-mal, when you leave something. Al-wasiyatu liman? Lil-walidin wal-aqrabin bil-ma'ruf haqqan 'ala al-muttaqin. You see, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala started with what? The parent and the closest relative to you, because the sadaqah to those people or gift to them is a gift or sadaqah, and also at the same time also silatul rahim. But many people think that if I give it to a stranger, it's far greater than giving it to somebody who is connected to me. No, it's not like that. If you give your father, it is better than giving any other person out of the family members. If you give a family member, it is far greater than giving it to any other person, because you get 2 rewards. When I give a stranger, I got 1 reward, which is the reward of charity. But when I give a relative, I get 2 rewards, charity and silatul rahim. So this is wasiyah. And I'm supposed to give 1/3, not more than 1/3. That's what the Prophet ﷺ proposed. This hadith is going to meet us, inshallah, hadith of Sa'd ibn Abi Waqqas. I will keep it, inshallah, to keep you also attending the class until we reach Babul Wasiyah. Get it? If you're still alive, inshallah. When we reach Babul Wasiyah, there are many other hadiths also connected to this issue. I think we delay them until. But this aqrabun, wasiyah is valid for them and wajib before the revelation of inheritance. After the law of inheritance, then Allah SWT cancel wasiyah for the aqarib. Not all the aqarib, but those who inherit. whoever has a portion in the estate will never receive a wasiyah. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, this is a wajib upon those people who fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and whoever changes the wasiyah. Because when you make the wasiyah, let's say death approach, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala show mercy, and Fatih is there. I tell him, Fatih, I have a house, I have a car, please my car, go give it to Miskin Muhammad. He is going to marry after a few days. Happy? So I tell him, go give the car to him. That's wasiyah. He is supposed to give the car. He cannot change. And then he goes and he sees that, no, I have 2 cars. Then he takes the ugly one. He gave it to Muhammad. That's tabdeel that Allah SWT is talking about. You have to keep the wasiyah intact in the way you are giving. Allah SWT says, فَإِنَّمَا إِثْمُ عَلَى الَّذِينَ يُبَدِّلُونَ إِنَّ اللَّهَ سَمِيعٌ عَلِيمٌ.